Nature can be a cruel mistress. Beneath its beauty lies an underbelly of primal fear for some of those who dare venture too deep. Since the beginning of humankind, we have endeavored to explore the realms of our wilderness, but in the process, many have failed to return. In recent history, a bizarre phenomenon has been growing. This is the perplexing mystery of the many hundreds of thousands of missing 411 cases. Missing 411 cases are a colloquial classification that documents missing person cases that fit a number of criteria. The disappearance occurred in a national park, rural area, or large reserve of public land. Exceptionally, odd circumstances surround the disappearance. Mental illness or voluntary disappearance does not appear to be the case. The term 411 actually has its origins in the inconspicuous computer term that refers to data that cannot be found or a corrupted link. It is certainly an apt metaphor for the state of these individuals who have vanished. Missing 411 Investigations by David Paulides. Missing people in the U.S. or across the world are an unfortunate but a regular occurrence, in fact, with as many as 90,000 people declared legally missing in America at any given time. Wow. It is hard to ignore the issue. However, stories of missing 411 victims do not take place only in rural areas. David Paulides, an investigator who spent 20 years of his life as a police officer, has uncovered a number of puzzling trends. The vast majority of these strange disappearances occurred on clearly marked and popular hiking trails. Additionally, victims are often proficient outdoorsmen and women, hikers and hunters who know their backwoods well. Paulides have dedicated nearly a decade of his life to the research of 411 cases and have written a series of books on the subject. However, he has never suggested a cause. All through, there are both national and even international examples of far older cases. David Paulides' efforts to synthesize records apply to recent history. His work focuses on an analysis of case files acquired through the Freedom of Information Act. Sequentially, with his methodical compilation of data, he identifies trends. One of the most startling of these is the mystery of 411 disappearance hotspots. Whether it's the nature of the terrain or something else, there seem to be concentrations of disappearances in certain areas. There are a number of these cluster spots across the globe. However, one of the prevalent and reoccurring seems to be the Yosemite National Park in California. First story. The Yosemite cluster of cases. Stacy Aris, 1981. Stacy was a 14-year-old girl on a horse riding trip with her father and several other friends in Yosemite National Park. What was likely a picturesque and enjoyable ride over the stunning wilderness of Yosemite became a nightmare for the Arias family. After arriving at the Sunrise High Sierra camp, Stacy cleaned up and decided to take a walk. The young girl asked both her father and another member of the party to join her, but was denied their company. She made it clear that her walk was only down to a nearby lake in order to take some photographs and stretch her legs. The lake was nearby, within earshot of the site. The area was not known for any instances of or animal predation. Thus, her father likely thought little of his daughter's actions. However, once she embarked on her short walk, Stacy Arias was never seen again. After a comprehensive and thorough search lasting 9 days with over 100 people, sniffer dogs, and helicopters, nothing more than the lens cap of her camera was ever found. Mystery Man, 1968. In early August, a man's body turned up in a crevice located within Tenure Peak. This is a site not far from Sunrise High Syria Camp, in the lake where Stacy Arias disappeared. This man was never been identified, but analysts of the body was never able to determine the cause of death. Incredibly, obvious signs such as blunt force trauma or multiple broken bones that might evidence a fall to his death in the gorge were not present. Jeff Estes, 1976. A little more than a mile away from the gorge where the body of the mystery man turned up, 25-year-old Jeff Estes disappeared. Even after official search efforts, as well as efforts of the family and friends, not a shred was found. Finally, Timothy Barnes, 1988. In mid-July, slightly northeast from the site where the mystery man's body was discovered 20 years earlier, Timothy Barnes vanished. Similar to the Jeff Estes case, even after meticulous search efforts, not a shred of evidence surfaced. These 4 instances exemplify the strange anomaly within the 411 cases of particular hotspots. Here we see, with these few square miles, a startling concentration of lost people. This suggests a geographic correlation.